Excuse me, Pastor Morris, calling Pastor Morris. Could you come up and offer an invocation of prayer for us tonight? Thank you. Paging Dr. Morris.
Yes. All right, shall we pray? Shall we pray? We pause, Father, in this moment to acknowledge you as the source of our wisdom, the source of our grace, and our guidance. Father, we thank you for the gift of our city and for the diverse people who live here in this beautiful city. We're grateful for our neighborhoods, oh God. We're grateful for our businesses, our schools, and its families, as well as the opportunities you've placed before us. We ask your blessing upon the city council tonight as they begin to grant these elected leaders a clarity of mind and unity and purpose and compassion as they yield fruit and courage to lead our city and make tough decisions. Father, we pray that they are just, we pray that they are fair, and that they're beneficial to all our citizens who live here. We honor you today. Bless us collectively and individually. In Jesus' name we ask it all. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Morris. And next, we have the Pledge of Allegiance. And as you can see, we have a great group of scouts here, and Ship 8317 is going to lead us today in the Pledge of Allegiance. There's a lot of them. We'll let them come on down. Absolutely. Thank you.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Two. Audience dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's good to see so many scouts here. As you all know, our former mayor, Harry Price, was very close to the Scouts, and I picked that up. I actually joined him in doing it as a councilwoman, and so I'm glad to continue this close connection between the city and our Scouts, our troops. And so we'll hear more about that later. And now we're going to go to council reports, and I will start with Councilman Sandhu.
Thank you, Mayor. One quick thing. About a week ago after the council retreat, I had the pleasure of attending the 100's retreat, not retreat, but their gathering of some civic leaders from across the Solano and Yolo County. For those who don't know, the 100 is a nonprofit that serves law enforcement and do a lot of good work supporting families of law enforcement, especially when they go through a tough time. Fun fact, the gentleman that I believe currently chairs it, his wife was my second grade teacher, Miss Bertain. So that was a nice reconnection. That was over in Woodland, California. So I had a chance to go out there, and we had some good representation from Team Travis. They had the Chiefs group come out.
Awesome.
And the 100 Club actually donated some money over to the Chiefs group or to the, I think it was the First Sergeant's Council, to support some of the airmen at Travis.
Wow.
So that's about it. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, that was a great one. Thank you. Councilwoman Panduro.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. So January was, the beginning of 2026, and already off to a great start into the year. For myself, I attended, and Councilmember Scott Tonneson was also there with me. We attended the ribbon cutting of Catholic Charities and the Exodus Project. So they are now located 823 Jefferson Street on Suites A and B, so right here in downtown. And they both programs provide really amazing resources to our community, but specifically our immigrant community and those who were previously incarcerated. So they are a great addition to our community and to our downtown. It's exciting and great to have them so accessible now to everybody. And then last week, we had our PIC count. So our PIC count stands for point in time count. So it's done every 2 years, and we go out as a community and we count the individuals that are houseless. And so this helps us get money to help serve them. in short. And so I wanted to just thank PD, and there was some of our officers there, some of our HIT team, Sam from our homeless division, Mr. David Gassaway was there, Liz Aptekar was there, so, and then some of my colleagues were there as well. And I just wanted to share a quick story. So I was driving my group, so that we were split up in teams. And I was the driver of my group, and I had 2 women with me that were, it was their first time participating in the pit count. And one of them was a young woman, and she was currently in school. She is currently in school. And she wrote a paper last year around homelessness, and she used the pit count numbers as a source in her paper. And so when it came time to do the pit count this year, she saw it, and instead of just continuing to just, she wanted to do something. And so she came out and signed herself up. She didn't know anybody here. And so she came to my group, and it was really great to have her as a part of the team and to show her, what it is, what a pit count does and what it is. And I think she had a really nice time. She was our counter, so there was an app where you counted the folks. And so she was our counter for the group. So it was really great to meet new individuals of our community, especially young people who are looking for ways to get involved. And that was a great way to get involved. And then just one last thing on behalf of Heather Sanderson from the PAL Center, or the Police Activities League. The folks who do the haunted house or screams, they're doing a limited engagement one for Valentine's Day called The Bleeding Roses, a lights out haunted house. And it's running February 6th, 7th, 13th, and 14th over where the Sizzlers used to be. And I know I'm dating myself right now, but over by the mall. The address is 1795 Pennsylvania. And I think that's where they hold the Screams one too. But it says, if dinner in a movie feels unpredictable, The Bleeding Roses offers a more unforgettable kind of Valentine's tradition. A true lights out walkthrough, so 1 flashlight beam per group, limited showing, so it's only for those 4 nights from 7 to 10, and no advance ticket. So all the tickets will be sold at the door. They're $14 per person, and the proceeds benefit the PAL's Career Cafe. So if you're looking for spice up your Valentine's Day, that's an option. That's all. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Carr.
I have nothing to report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councilman Donison.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to talk a little bit about the downtown. Restaurants are going really good. We have the main Grape is opening on February 10th at 4 o'clock. The main Grape is at 721 Texas Street. It's right in the heart of the downtown, and anybody that would like to show up, I'm sure that they would appreciate it, and come visit the downtown. At night, it's lit up, and if you haven't been there in a while, I think you'll notice the change. Thank you.
Thank you. And the main grape is actually open now if you want to go there and eat some of the food, and it's fantastic. But we'll have the grand opening, the ribbon cutting, as the councilman said. Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. I was invited to something called the EBLC Leadership Conference last week, and Stacey Abrams was there. And Stacey Abrams ran for governor some years back and then again. And she ran at a time where I was interested in running for elected office, and I didn't know what that would look like for me. Being a curvy black woman with this wild natural hair. I just didn't know what that pathway was because I didn't see a lot of black women that looked like me at that time running. And so I followed her, watched her, and she gave me the courage to run for county supervisor. I did not win, but that brought me on the pathway of here, where it was an open seat, and I ran for it. And so this lady is my shero. And to be able to be invited to see her, well, I got there an hour early, corridors empty, and waited for an hour. Somebody tried to cut me, and I tapped her, and I was like, lady. And I wrote a bunch of things that she said that captured me. But I wanted to share this. Oh, and by the way, I waited an hour so I could go take a picture with her. So, but by the time that hour passed and I got up there and I was front in line, I was so emotional. I had all these things I was going to say. You're my mentor and I love you and you're the reason why I ran and da 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 da. So I couldn't. All I could do was keep from crying while taking this picture. So I'm hoping when I get this picture back, it's not just me with my eyes closed, tears coming down. I hope it caught me before that happened. But there's something that she said that I wanted to share, very brief. Be bold. If you're comfortable, you're not doing enough. Thank you.
Great quote. Thank you. And I just wanted to report that when I went to Japan in October, at an invitation to speak there at the United Nations University with other mayors, it was it was the hardest working time I've had. But what happened is I was able to meet with the governor one-on-one for one of the prefectures there. And I told him how much I wanted to do business trade or bring some of the business from there to Fairfield, and that we were a lot like them. We have egg, and they have egg, and I would like some of our wines to be traded over there. So I invited them, and so this last week, he sent a contingent of people here, and they met with me and the city manager and our folks in economic development, and we had a really, really fruitful and positive meeting. And we are going to, now, we talked about writing MOUs, but we said, no, handshakes are fine. So we could show that we are going to work together and bring some of their technology, hopefully here. You've heard of Seiko watches. That's from there, and they do things with medical devices now. And since we have a lot of universities, and we also have here at Solano College, we have biotech, those things can be used for that. And we also have a big defense thing here, and as we know, shipbuilding may be coming into Solano County, come back to Solano County, I should say. So this is all really positive. I'm really excited. It was what I was hoping was going to happen, so I wanted to share that and say that economic development, we're a great team in there, along with the city manager. So I just wanted to thank them and let the citizens know that, none of us stop. We all keep working, and it worked out. So I'm really happy about it. And we already have from economic development, Keisha, who works in there, and she's fantastic. She has hooked up one of our Susun Valley wineries with folks in Japan, so that's probably going to end up in some trade going on there. So, and that was a big deal. I really pushed Susun Valley and Fairfield, of course. I see us all as kind of one. But anyway, thank you. Mr. City Manager.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I have no report this evening.
All right. And Mr. City Attorney.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I have one item to report out of closed session. The City Council settled a workers' compensation claim in the matter of Richard Williams versus City of Fairfield. Workers' Compensation Appeal Board cases ADJ 107-29538, ADJ 107-43170, ADJ 107-48770, ADJ 798-1607, and ADJ 798-1608. The award was made on January 15th, 2026 in the total amount of $155,000. The full details of the case can be found on the Workers' Compensation Appeals Board website. Thanks.
Thank you so much. And Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to report the tickets are still available for the State of the City event. The theme this year is A Year Well Served, and it will be held on February 19th, a Thursday, from 8 to 10 a.m. at the Hilton Garden Inn. Tickets are available at fairfield.ca.gov/tickets. Also, we will be holding a community informational meeting about the proposed Measure P the same evening, Thursday, February 19th, starting at 6 p.m., and that'll be held here in the chamber. For more information on that, you can visit fairfield.ca.gov/Measure P. And also our community, or our marketing and outreach division wanted me to promote their programs. Connect with us. Get connected, get invested, get results. So you can just visit fairfield.ca.gov/connect. And they also have some magnets out in the lobby area. And then IT asked me to report on some computer classes that are coming up. And I believe there's some flyers in the back in the lobby at the Adult Recreation Center on February, well, there's a class tonight apparently, or this afternoon, but there's also classes next week on the 4th and 5th. And you can learn to use the internet with a free tablet. There will also be classes in March 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. And digital literacy classes, those are starting on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that's here in our community center, Lakeside Suite B, from 3 to 5 p.m. So I just wanted to let everyone know about that.
Thanks a million. So now we will turn to presentations, if you would, please.
Yes, our first presentation is Proclamation Declaring Scouting Day, presented by our Mayor Moy. And I will call up all of the various scouting groups that are here. We have a lot.
You have all the scouting groups. When she calls you, if you could come in, you can come around here.
Yeah.
And some can come back here.
Then we can get a big group photo later.
Yes, that would be great.
Okay, so PAC 8100, Cubmaster Elizabeth Hunt. PAC 8092, Cubmaster Reese Hansen. PAC 8474, Cubmaster Silverio Castaneda. PAC 8853, Cubmaster Paul Nelson. Troop 8100, Assistant Scoutmaster Brian Hagan. Crew 8100, Crew Advisor Anna Guerra. Ship 8317, Skipper James Jensen. Troop 8482, Scoutmaster Carlo Teresi. Troop 8723, Scoutmaster Carla Newdert. Troop 8729, Scoutmaster, again, Carla Newdert, another troop. Troop 8818, Scoutmaster Sarah Johnson. And Troop 8853, Scoutmaster Eric Wanis. Thank you. And the scouts should come up as well.
Yeah, everybody, all the scouts can come up too. You all can come around in here.
Some can come,
Some come back here and then,
you can come here in the well here. You can come here, right here. Yeah, there we go.
that's great. As you can tag somebody, will you be accepting the proclamation? Who would like to?
There we go, thank you.
Cornelius, you're going to accept the proclamation.
He's the boss.
Come on, boss. Yeah, well, yeah, that we can.
We'll wait till she,
Oh, yeah, there you go. There we go.
I'll stand so I
Right
can
on. Can hardly see you here. But anyway, that's all right. I'm short too. Well, as you can see, I don't think we've ever had so many scouts in here. Boy, it makes me really proud, and thank you, sir. Very happy to see everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. Whereas in 1907, Lord Robert Baden-Powell founded the Boy Scout program in the United Kingdom with 20 boys at Brownsea Island. In 1909, Chicago publisher William D. Boyce, while on a trip in London, was so impressed by a scout coming to his aid in the fog that he was inspired to bring Scouting to America and incorporated the Boy Scouts of America program on February 8th, 1910. The flagship program of Boy Scouts of America, previously known as Boy Scouting, became known as Scouts, BSA, on February 1st, 2019, when the program opened to girls and collectively refers to all members as Scouts. And as of February 8th, 2025, is now known as Scouting America. The Scout program has had a profound impact on the United States, with over 200 astronauts, 200, numerous presidents, I think only one, right, Gerald Ford, and other distinguished dignitaries having been Scouts. And the Scout program has been inspiring young people for more than 100 years, teaching them important values such as citizenship, leadership, integrity, responsibility, service to others, and self-reliance. And the Scout program promotes healthy values and helps young people develop strong moral values and character traits through camping trips, service opportunities, and other activities. Scouts share a common goal to become productive members of society with defined standards of honor and respect for their community outlined in the Scout Oath. We honor and support those Scouts striving to live by the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. They got that down. That's great. Of course they do. This proclamation recognizes the long-standing commitment to the founding principles of the Boy Scouts of America, expresses gratitude for the countless hours of voluntary service exemplified by Eagle Scout projects, and conveys sincere appreciation for the dedicated leaders who tirelessly guide and sustain the program, and encourages the community to honor and celebrate Scouts during this momentous occasion. Now, therefore, I, Catherine Cat Moy, Mayor of Fairfield, do hereby proclaim that in the city of Fairfield, California, we shall uphold February 8th, 2026 as National Scouting American Day. And I'm going to give this proclamation to, there you go. And we're going to we'll just step this way a little bit, and they're going to take a picture of us. Is that okay? Can we? Yeah. Boy, okay. Here you go. And Brian's fantastic. Here. Can you see everybody?
Oh, thank you, Brian.
Smile, everybody.
Don't forget us on the sides. Or do. Well, Mr. Pace, you need to get in here too, as our. Oh, cheater. Cheater.
3, 2, 1. Smile. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You guys are, how do you say it, excused?
Oh, thank you.
At ease.
Oh, at ease. Thank you, guys. It was great.
And he has your proclamations for the Cubs, for the leaders.
Good to see all of you. Yeah, definitely. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much. Hi. Thank you, Mayor. Hi, yes, thank you. Hi, thank you for coming.
Okay, and our second presentation is Proclamation and Poem Declaring Black History Month, presented by Mayor Moy. And our poet laureate, Michael Wiley, will be reading a poem he wrote for the occasion. And she will present the proclamation to the president of the Black Student Union at Solano Community College, Jamari Dotson. And I believe Mr. Shannon Danley is here as well, the advisor. So you can go up and stand next to the mayor.
Are you members of the Black Student Union? Come on down. Let's yeah. Come
Thank
down
you.
and represent. Let's go. Just wherever you want. We're comfortable right here.
Mr. Danny couldn't make it up there in his place. I'm another advisor for him.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
And what's your name?
Derek Roberts.
Derek, it's good to meet you.
as well.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I was not going to be presenting this tonight. It was actually to be presented by the Vice Mayor, Pam Bertani. And Ms. Bertani is very ill right now, so everybody, if you would pray for her. She's going to be okay, but she was really disappointed not to be here. Something about the Vice Mayor. She was the first African-American woman to be elected to this board, to the City Council. And it was a momentous day. She's an incredible human being. And I'll say this about her, even though when she gets better, she's going to kick me in the hind end. She's a full-time practicing lawyer and then spends the rest of her time working for the citizens of Fairfield. So I am reading this in her honor right now, and to honor all of the folks, including we have Councilwoman Kay Patrice Williams, who's our second African-American woman to be elected to the City Council. So I like to bring that up because we have history here in this room. It's being made. So here we go. The U.S. officially started recognizing Black History Month in 1976 when President Gerald Ford issued the first presidential message commemorating the observance, calling on Americans to seize the opportunity to honor the accomplishments of Black citizens during the nation's bicentennial. And like I said earlier, he was an Eagle Scout too. So, Black History Month's roots trace back to 1926 with historian Carter G. Woodson's establishment of Negro History Week, which grew into the month-long observance championed by organizations like the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. The theme for 2026 is a century of Black history commemorations, celebrating 100 years since the first formal recognition of Black history, highlighting its transformation and impact on American understanding of race and culture. Black History Month serves as a celebration and a potent reminder that Black history is American history. Black culture is American culture, and Black stories are interwoven into the fabric of America, our struggles, progress, and dreams. And whereas 2026 marks a significant milestone, commemorating a century of dedicated efforts to bring Black history to the forefront of American consciousness, the BHM 100 movement, BlackHistory100.org, is leading coordinating national initiatives to preserve this history and expand public understanding during this landmark. Again, that's BlackHistory100.org. You should visit it. Now, therefore, I, Catherine Cat Moy, Mayor of the City of Fairfield, I do proclaim the month of February 2026 as Black History Month in the City of Fairfield, and I ask our citizens to reflect on the rich history and teachings of African Americans and bear witness to the progress, beauty, and achievements they have made throughout society. And I am presenting this to our folks from the college. There we go. Yes, so get around here. And our poet laureate will come up and he will recite the prayer, a poem. Michael, yeah, we need you in the photo, and then he'll read the photo. There we go. Thank you. Thank you all, and he will come up, and you can stand here or whatever you want to do. It'll probably bring, thank you, Michael. Yeah.
All right, good evening. Happy New Year. Mayor, council members, members of the public. Tonight, of course, I'm honored to read a poem for Black History Month. I'd like to share one lesson of allyship that is important, is that of listening to and learning from our storytellers. This poem, titled Trusting Seams, takes direction from the stories and work of the Gee's Bend quilters. I offer this poem in respect, in allyship, and with gratitude. The title of the poem is Trusting Seams, after the Gee's Bend quilters. Each quilt, a lesson in joining, disparate seams drawn together. A hand lifts, a hand lowers, a hand and a needle. Listen, hear, listen. Each confluence of cloth is counsel, weight answering weight, elbow creased, work creased, knuckle creased, love creased, insistent ancestral fingers pointing ever forward. Listen, hear, listen. A hand lifts, a hand lowers. The Gee's Bend quilters teach in turns and interruptions. Practiced rhythms beat like lungs through our cities, breath released, breath returned, until the pool tightens and the taut cloth shures. Listen here, listen. The invite to keep joining what we cannot make alone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we're going to move on to public comments, please, Madam Clerk.
Yes, public comments. Persons wishing to address the City Council on subjects not on the agenda but within the jurisdiction of the council may do so at this time. The council cannot discuss or take action on matters not on the agenda for this meeting, but council members may briefly respond to statements made or questions raised by the public, ask for clarification from staff, refer the matter to staff, request staff to report back to the council at a subsequent meeting, or place the matter on a future agenda. If you're online to speak on an agenda item, please use the raise your hand feature or press *9 on your phone. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes per item as determined by the mayor. And our first speaker is Dr. Sam Morris of Bay North Church.
Do I need to raise that? We good? All right. Good evening. First, before I start, I just want to address our mayor, David Gassaway, David Lim, all of our city council members. I salute you today. I won't be before you long. Just want to give you an update about the Warming Center, and we just thank you for your partnership, and it is doing extremely well. Up to this point, we have been at 100% occupancy probably since the 24th of December. Prior to that, we're running at about 78% upon our opening. With that being said, I wanted to speak today just a little bit about the future. And our future in mind is located at 310 Beck Avenue in Fairfield, where it is clear that the current operations are too comfortable to do enough to make a difference. If I could steal that for a moment. The facility currently provides interim housing, case management, and meals and basic support and services. And what I am proposing tonight is simple but powerful. I believe if Bay North is operational in its leadership to take this shelter could actually transform it into a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week navigational and workforce development center. The goal here is not just to house people, but we intend to help people rebuild their lives. Bay North has already proven that we can do this. During our previous shelter operations, we've served thousands of meals, provided 100 hours of case management, offered life skills classes, successfully helped nearly half of our participants transition into permanent housing. We want to take that model and expand it. Under our management, the shelter can operate around the clock with enhanced services that go beyond what's currently offered. We'll introduce workforce training programs designed to benefit both participants and the city. Landscaping, beautiful division that can help maintain public safe spaces and support our parks and recreation efforts. Janitorial and sanitation training programs that can assist with such things like keeping our parks and bathrooms clean. Like carpentry and trades program, I believe that with partnership with local businesses like Lowe's and Home Depot can help our seniors and low-income residents with minor home repairs. Most importantly, we'll utilize a new commercial kitchen that has been built there on that campus to provide a culinary training to create products that can be sold through partnerships with stores like Safeway and Raley's. Giving participants real skills and real life experience, real income potential, this approach would do 3 things as I close. It'll provide shelter, it'll provide job training, but it also creates a pathway to independence. We offer complete wraparound services, case management, mental health support, financial literacy, transport, family reunification, permanent housing, and placement. This is not just a bed, it is a bridge. Every person who moves from homelessness to stability reduces the entire strain on our city, our resources, and I believe public safety, which strengthens the community. So I'm asking tonight for the opportunity to given the ability to reduce the strain and operate this facility with excellence, accountability, and most importantly, compassion. We are ready, we're experienced, and we're committed to helping our neighbors not just survive, but thrive. Thank you for this time and consideration. There's a few more minutes left.
Thank you, Pastor.
Next is E.J. Johnson, to be followed by Willa Groover.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. I'm E.J. Johnson with a quick update from the Downtown Theater. This weekend, we're excited to host the West quarterfinals of the International Championship of a high school a cappella produced by Varsity Vocals. We are especially proud that Missouri Streets Theater award-winning a cappella group, Mist, will be competing Friday night. Mist has placed at this competition for the past 3 consecutive years and is once again taking the stage against an exceptionally competitive field of talented groups from across the region. Their continued success is a testament to the dedication of these students and the leadership of their director, Casey Ellis. It's a great example of how Downtown Theater supports youth excellence, regional engagement, and nationally recognized arts programming right here in Fairfield. We invite the community to join us this weekend. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you for coming back and updating us.
Next is Willa Groover.
Good evening.
Willa.
Thank you, Mayor Moy and Council, for the opportunity to speak. My name is Willa. I'm the Resilient Communities Program Manager at Sustainable Solano. I wanted just to inform all of you about an air quality project that we are currently working on in Fairfield. So I'm working with a group of high school students at Armio High School called the Youth Air Protectors. We've done this program in the past, but this is the latest group. And we're teaching them all about air quality here in Fairfield and working together on community engagement projects. And we have a project coming up on Saturday, February 21st at the City Church Community Garden, and we'll be planting trees starting at 10 a.m. I have flyers also. I'll leave them outside for you.
Okay.
But we'll be working with community members, volunteers, anybody who wants to join us to beautify the area, provide shade, increase the walkability, and help to clean the air. So it'll be an opportunity for folks to connect with their neighbors and help to do something tangible to improve the community. And yeah, so as I mentioned, I'll be leaving some flyers here. There's a link to sign up. Invite anyone to join. and there will be free lunch provided as well. And the youth air protectors will be there, and they'll be there to talk to community members about their experiences of the air quality. And they'll also be there learning about the benefits of green infrastructure and starting to think for themselves about what sort of community improvement projects they would like to propose, because they're about to start working on their final projects. And that's the second thing that I wanted to talk to you all about tonight, which is that I'd love for these Fairfield youth to come and share their projects with the council once they are complete. And so that would be around either like the April 21st meeting or the May 5th meeting. So I'd love to follow up with you all to see if that can be put on the agenda at that time. I'll leave my information with the clerk.
Yes.
And would love to connect about that. So thank you.
I will agendize that. We'll look to see what else we have on those 2 dates, and we'll work on that. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. And one more thing is that our work here in Fairfield is connected to a larger goal of increasing regional collaboration between cities on air quality. And so to that end, we'll be putting on a countywide air quality summit, which will be in the fall. And so we will be, the goal is to learn and to collaborate on solutions together. And so I'd love to hear from anybody on council or in attendance at the meeting about your experience of the air, what issues you care most about, what topics you would like to see covered at the summit. I'll also leave a little flyer that has a survey that you can take, and would really appreciate feedback from anyone and everyone. So thank you for the time, and hope to see you on February 21st to plant some trees.
We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much. There are 2 hands raised online. Did anyone else wish to speak on public comment that's here in person? Okay. Valeria, can you bring the first speaker online, please?
Yes, the first speaker is called Matto Bidol.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. First, I'd like to say to the city clerk, I've been raising my hands twice on 2 different issues. But my first issue here is I came and spoke in front of the council, as the whole council knows, before the closed session on the issue of the mayor residing outside the city limits of Fairfield. I don't want every call, you heard what I had to say then, so this is what I have to say now. I want to thank the city council. I want to especially thank the city attorney, David Lim. Outstanding guy. We've decided not to, I understand that you have another attorney and there's a deadline, I think tomorrow, the next day, for people to send in what they want to this attorney that have what they think is a real good proof of the accusation. We've decided not to do any of this, and I just want to tell you why, super quick before my 3 minutes runs out, is because when it goes to Sacramento, it's an administrative look into, you can call it an administrative investigation. It's an administrative thing, but at the end of the day, Fairfield, I don't like wasting any public funds at all. I'm a tightwad with that. So if we send all our stuff in, I don't know what the council's going to do, and you refer this up there, it's going to be an exercise that's going to cost the citizens a lot of money with attorney fees, et cetera. We all know this. At the end of the day, it's too close to the election. And I've talked to people in Sacramento. They're not even going to look at it because they'll take it as having influence on the election coming up. And I kind of agree with that. I 100% see their point and stuff. So, at the end of the day, with this issue, we'll if the mayor decides to run in November, what we have, we'll let the people of Fairfield decide, because this is just going to be an exercise. It's too close to the election. So instead of doing that, and this is just kind of a joke, council, take those few money you're going to spend and put it in the Mark Lee Lane fund for us or something. But you know what? At the end of the day, Mayor Moy, I wish you well. Um, I hope things work out. I hope the city council won't go down the road as doing this exercise and throwing this money down. Dave and Lim, I got to tell you, I've never seen a city attorney take time and talk to people like you do. And I appreciate you. If you ever leave Fairfield and you're looking for a job, call me, because I know a couple of municipalities that would love to have you. I just want to leave one thing at the end of this one, and I
Matthew,
got
your
to
time,
remind.
your time is up. But
Can I
I
say
think the
one more?
city attorney likes what you're saying, so if you have more to say to him, go ahead.
No, I'm good. I just, please acknowledge that I'm raising my hand for another issue, please.
Is the issue already passed, or?
No, it's not on the agenda.
Oh, okay, all right, thank you.
Next speaker is Stephanie.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Hello. So first of all, my comment is regarding a topic that is on the agenda tonight. So I'd like to make sure that this is the appropriate time to make that comment.
What is it regarding?
It's regarding the proposed restroom at Lee Bell Park.
She can remark here, it is not on the agenda. Oh, I'm sorry, it is on the consent. It's coming up, so we'll hold you till then. I'll pull it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm okay to speak, correct?
No, just 1 minute and we'll tell you when, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Valeria, any others?
No.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so now we are going to the consent calendar, but I'm going to pull the item for Lee Bell so she can make a comment, and we'll vote on that separately.
Okay, I do
Hold
need to read
just a
this.
second. Councilman Tonneson?
And I have to recuse on that particular item. But it's on consent, so do I have to leave the room, or?
Well, Madam Mayor, you pulled it, so I guess the clerk, I think, was going to ask, do you want to do consent first or do K4 first?
K4 first, please.
Okay, I'll read the statement as well. All matters listed on the consent calendar are to be approved with one motion unless a member of the city council or the public requests that separate action be taken on a specific item. And I will
And then
read.
I have to recuse myself on there. I live within 10 feet of Lee Bell Park.
Yeah, okay.
So item K4 is being pulled, and I will read it. Resolution
Thank you.
2026-21, Lee Bell Prefabricated Award, approving the plans and specifications, awarding the Lee Bell Prefabricated Restroom Project to Globe Engineering Development, and authorizing an update to the 2025-2026 budget. And I guess we'll let her make her comment, and then we have our Public Works Director here. If,
Okay.
And Madam Mayor, just for the record, Councilmember Tonneson has left the chambers.
Thank you. Ma'am, you wanted to speak on the Lee Bell bathroom item. Can you hear me?
Hello, yes, I can.
Okay, you may speak now.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and council members. As you know, I'd like to speak about the proposed expenditure of approximately $250,000 for a restroom at Lee Bell Park. My concern is not the restroom itself, but rather the lack of comprehensive safety and maintenance plan accompanying this investment. I'd like to begin by saying that I do understand the intent behind this proposal and that access to restrooms is important. Families, children, and park users deserve clean and safe restrooms and benefit from having basic facilities available. I don't think anyone here disagrees with that, and I appreciate the city's effort to improve park amenities. My concern really is about the follow-through, not the idea of the restroom itself. Parks like Lee Bell and Allen Witt have developed poor reputations among many residents, largely due to ongoing issues with vandalism, safety, and transient activity. At Allen Witt, for example, this past month, the restrooms were recently closed because of vandalism and the need for repairs. Lebel Park has had long-standing concerns related to encampments, drug use, and general safety, and residents are already cautious about using the space. If I remember correctly, about 10 years ago, a restroom was built at Lebel Park and later removed due to safety and misuse concerns. With that history in mind, I'm trying to understand what will be different this time. When the city invests significant funds, how does this project fit into a broader strategy of parks that already face challenges? From a resident perspective, it often feels like the city does a good job funding physical improvements, but then struggles with ongoing pieces such as maintenance, regular monitoring, and a visible presence that helps people feel safe using these parks. Without those elements, even well-intended improvements can end up underused, damaged, or eventually closed, which doesn't serve residents or the city well. So my question is what the plan looks like for parks like Lebel and Allenwood that have struggled in the past. What will be done differently to ensure this investment actually improves how the park is used and perceived by residents over the long term? I think that greater clarity around safety, maintenance, and accountability would go a long way towards building public confidence in this project. Thank you all for your time and consideration.
Thank you. So, yes, could we answer her questions on this? What are we going to do before we get Pastor's group taking care of the parks for us? What are we going to do to make sure this is safe and isn't having issues that we are having at Ellenwood?
Okay, good evening. Thank you for the question. So during this design development for this park location, we have actually coordinated with PD and Parks Rec department to actually align and locate the facility such a way that actually PD can go and observe those park activity or anything, so it is facing towards the street, towards the parking lot. So we have worked that how to and remove any barriers of visual that the PD can actually see through. Then also the design of the facility is also such that if it is being occupied, there is going to be a light that is going to be there so that we can enforce people to get out of that. So there are a few design elements that we have considered, and it is a need from the community, ask for the community to be there, but these are the few features that we have included in the design. And also we are discussing regarding putting a camera outside the facility just for observation by the PD. That is not in the design right now, but we are looking into funding that option.
I do think that would be a good idea, to have light. Light always is good. All right, thank you very much. Are there any questions from council or comments on this? Okay, thank you. Then I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, and so we have all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay, that was unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we'll have you vote on the rest of the
Yes.
consent, K1, K2, and K3.
Yeah, so Councilman Thomas can come down and, I'll entertain a motion for the consent calendar. So moved, second. And were there any public comments on this, Madam Clerk, on the consent calendar?
No.
No? Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that was unanimous. Thank you. So now, we're going to move on to public hearings.
New business?
I'm sorry. We're going on to new business.
Okay, L1.
I tried to jump everything,
That's okay.
didn't I?
Resolution 2026-10, North Texas Street Revitalization Program. Approving and authorizing the funding and adoption of the North Texas Street Revitalization Program. And our presenter is Dave Zellers, Economic and Community and Economic Development Director. Thank you.
It's close enough, Karen. Well, Council, Mayor, good evening. Good to see you all. And in the spirit of Valentine's Day, the item I have for you tonight is an opportunity to give a little love and affection to North Texas Street.
Yes.
So here we go. First, as a brief overview for our public, the North Texas Street District, it's been around for quite some time. It's a big geographic area of our city, really divides the core area of the city from north to south, and it's a very unique corridor, providing both neighborhood services to the various different communities that border either side of it. It's bisected as well by our linear trail, and it's also a very important automotive route for our city. Anybody who's been trying to rush from City Hall all the way up to the north end of the city and doesn't want to get on 80, this is the best way to go sometimes a day. But watch out for Dan and his guys. So, again, very, very important part of our city, and very unique. And then in terms of the program we're here to talk about tonight, so as you'll recall, at your retreat in 2025, you set aside money and you gave us direction to set up two things. One was this grant program before you, and secondly was a pilot project to do some cleanup. At this point, I really want to stop and thank both the Fairfield Sassoon Chamber of Commerce and the North Texas Street Business Association for their input on both of these things. On the pilot project, that is underway. They've asked for a 6-month pilot project. It's a similar service to what we have downtown that we've had for several years now, and has helped make an impact with some very simple cleanup. And after the pilot project, we'll see how, if it continues under the auspices of the Business Association. But for the grant program, that would leave you with the number you see up there, just a little over $372,000. As we discussed at the retreat in 2025, this is an opportunity to really do two things through very specific allowable expenses. One is to enhance the safety and security of the area through lighting improvements, improving those parking lots and things that can be tripping hazards or hazards for vehicles, and secondarily to soften and brighten the landscape. You'll see a picture here a little later on in my presentation, a good example of that softening of the landscape. Because that is such an auto-centric corridor, the movement of vehicles, it's concrete, it's macadam, right? It has that feel to it. This will help to give it a different feel along the way. And you chose the picture up here, not just to distract you by the dog, but also to remind everybody this is one of the many new businesses that we saw last year on this corridor. So we're always seeing investment there. We're always seeing change. That's why it's such a great opportunity with this program right now. The program is styled after our very successful downtown facade program, which you've seen over the years. So we'll be operating it through the Economic Development Division of the Community Development Department in a similar way. It's a reimbursement style grant, again, very similar to that program you're all familiar with. And what you'll see here in a moment, what we've done is to help, particularly the smaller business owners, we provided them with a slightly more advantageous match, as well as a slightly more advantageous award, recognizing, again, that district is unlike downtown. You have those small independent businesses that own their one building, and then you have those bigger shopping centers. So on one of my last slides here, you'll see we tried to find a balance there within that award type that we've created here. The eligibility, and this is the example I mentioned a moment ago, that softening of the landscape. This is the McDonald's. This was actually a project our planning division helped spear several years ago to bring a little more vibrancy and greenery to the landscape. So this would be an eligible project, somebody doing something like this. You see the other examples up there as well. It is for those properties that are paying into the assessment into the district, so it's commercial properties. It's not a residential property along there. The business owner can apply. If they're a renter in their building, they will need the support of their landlord, or the building owner themselves can apply. And then, as I mentioned, we've structured this with a little bit of varying match requirements to help support some of those different types of businesses, give a little bit more to those smaller businesses, those businesses that own their own buildings, because we want to see them make that investment, but we know it gets a little more challenging when you're independent on your own or when you're operating with a little less revenue. So tonight, with your approval of the grant program, we will work on final translation of the guidelines into the languages that we know are important in that part of the city. We will also begin our marketing plan. One of the things we did discuss, and I want to mention to council tonight, we recognize that we have to meet people where they are with this program. So I was talking with Keisha and Jen today from our economic development team. We'll be working with the chamber, with the North Texas Association's board to put some feet on the street and get out once we have that translation done and the marketing materials ready. But our goal is to start accepting applications as they come in on an open and rolling basis until these funds are all allocated in March of this year. And with that, happy to take your questions and go from there.
Councilman Tonneson?
Can you go back to slide 7? Good presentation too, Dave. What is the split downtown? Wasn't it 75% downtown? And was it based on annual revenue, or is that different?
I think over time that's evolved. It's evolved since I've been here a little bit. I think there were earlier iterations, and now it's a little bit more static.
And it's 75% downtown, right?
I want to say it's 50.
Okay, no problem. I'm not asking gotcha questions. No, I like that. That's good. And the application process will be online?
So the website was mocked up by our marketing team. I saw it earlier this week along with our group. It's not public yet because this isn't approved.
It'll be on Fairfield's
They'll
website.
be able to go online and get it. Yep, and then download the papers or whatever. And we know we need to do the translation. That's going to be really critical here. So right now it's mocked up in English, but I want to make sure we get the translation into Spanish and Tagalog. And I think we may even look at. I know we have some Korean business owners in that area as well.
I guess I want to make sure that it's coming through the city.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
no, we are administering the program, yes.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Councilwoman Panduro?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know we've talked about this and it's been on our thing for a little while and super excited about it. And I know you guys have been working with, like you said, the chamber and the association, and like it is a big corridor down there and it's so vital to our city. And so I'm really excited about the impact this is going to have. And because those people, I've walked door to door to most of those businesses, and it's so diverse, and it's so amazing to see how many entrepreneurs we have in that corridor. They have really cool shops. And so this is a great way to support that and continue to leverage and enhance that. And please count me in when you guys go knocking on doors for this to share it. Absolutely.
Will do.
Thank you.
Yes, Councilwoman Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. Could you say again what the outreach looks like?
Yeah, so, I mean, first and foremost, we'll use all of our normal social media channels, of course, but I really believe, and I was just talking to our team this afternoon about this, we need to get out in the street with this. We need to really get to those businesses because it's a big district. As Councilwoman Pandora just said, a lot of entrepreneurs don't have a lot of time to monitor our social media all day. We'll also rely on our partners. I think the Small Business Development Center in particular will be thrilled to help market this. I know they've done similar things when, or you might recall the Solano EDC had some loan monies they got from the county to give the small businesses. So we know we have our partners that, to do that outreach with us. And again, very important to me is we make sure we get the translation right on the guidelines and our marketing materials so that we're meeting people where they are.
Thank you. You hit on what I was concerned about, missing folk that just aren't paying attention at the moment, or not part of a chamber, or associated with a group. They're just out there working hard and trying to make it work and trying to make things cash flow. So getting out in the street, I think that is perfect. Also, I know you do business licenses. Is there a way to geo-track those business licenses?
So we could, what we could do is, we have the list because through our business license, that assessment is paid to the North Texas Association. So we would have the list that we could utilize there. I would double check with the city attorney, make sure we're not violating any privacy laws, but otherwise, we would be able to identify that. Or frankly, through the association themselves. So I think there's multiple avenues to get to that.
So I was affiliated with groups during the pandemic, and there were different dollars out. And the ones that got the best type of response is when there was almost like a technical, not technical training, but just kind of a technical overview of the grant, you know, where, and that was recorded. It wasn't for just those that were available in that moment at 4 o'clock on a Thursday, but could keep, you know, playing. And I came to realize that comfortability, because people, you know, they might be great at opening up a boutique, but they're pretty apprehensive about, you know, going after a grant. Would you be willing to record it and then promote that online too, to just make
That's
outreach
no
more
problem. I did several of those myself when I ran grant programs during the pandemic, and yeah, not everybody's available. Like you said, they might not see it till 10 o'clock that night when they're doing their stuff. So yeah, again, Mod, you know, they have all the tools to make that possible for us to do that and make that available through YouTube or our other channels. So it shouldn't be a problem at all.
Thank you. And final question. So this money is dispersed, allocated, goes out the door. Can we have part of the process a kind of a follow-up, for marketing reasons, so that we can push that out, but also for data purposes, like, you know, did this grant, did they see an uptick in anything, whatever those quick measurements are, and make that a recommendation for 6 months out, 1 year out, maybe 18 months out, so we can really see the impact of these dollars?
I think we can ask people. I think requiring it is tricky, or you know, expecting full reporting, 100% reporting, right? Because again, they are busy business owners. We may not get all that information from folks, but in my experience, again, you know, I think a lot of folks, if you ask, they typically want to share what they can if they've seen an uptick or or a decrease in something that was plaguing them before. If, you know, if they put new lighting in, there's less vandalism at their property or less other damage. So I think there's opportunities there to invite them to engage.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Mayor, if I could just real
Yes,
quick,
absolutely.
Councilmember Tonneson had asked a question, you know, in comparison for this North Texas compared to the facade program for downtown. So for downtown, it was structured a little bit differently because it was mostly building exterior facades. So it was up to 75%, up to $10,000 of repairs. So $7,500 of $10,000 worth of improvements, all the way up to covering 50% of up to $50,000 exterior, as well as up to 50% of $50,000 of improvements interior. And so that was a little bit of that retail to restaurant program that we were trying to incentivize. So just a slightly different structure.
There was some retail to restaurant down there too.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
And then just one comment to Councilmember Williams. You know, if this program tracks at all in the way that we did see the facade program roll out downtown, I think the initial sort of pot of funding that was available for that was from everybody was like, yeah, great. And then it took us about 2 years to convince property owners to actually take advantage of the program because, you know, again, this is a substantial investment on their side as well. And so I am not sure. I mean, I would love to see that, you know, within the first month, all the grants are gobbled up, right? And there's that much investment being made along North Texas. But if the facade program is any indication, it may take a little bit of time for that money to really start rolling out the door as business owners start to feel confident in they themselves making the type of investment that we're then coming in with those matching grant funds.
I had one question or suggestion. I liked the little logo here that was done with the Highway 40 because that was the highway.
And that was Mod. They came up with that. Yeah.
Well, it's very smart. What I'm wondering is, and I had this suggestion from a citizen, have you ever looked into grants from the state or the United States? Because that is a historical site. Well, it's a long site, but
corridor, yeah.
Corridor. Is there any way of getting maybe some money from them?
I'm going to say maybe. I don't know for sure. And I would look to some of my other colleagues to do the research with us, because if you take those dollars for something like that, there's sometimes restrictions on what we could do in the future. So, I'll give you an example, Historic Route 66, right?
Right.
You drive through some of those towns that are on there and they have certain signage and things, but then there's certain elements you have to maintain, or a certain look or feel.
Oh, I see.
Not to say we can't, I think we talked at retreat about a specific plan for North Texas.
Yes, we
anytime
did.
we do a specific plan, we're going to look at funding opportunities.
Right.
So we're going to have a natural gateway now to investigate those kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a good suggestion to look into, and I understand how it could maybe, put a crimp in our style, if we will, but I don't know. We need the money.
Bring back that, the neon 1950s, 1960s architecture, kind of retro modern, you don't know until you look.
I
So
like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yes, Councilwoman.
I just have one more thing. So in thinking back to my cleanups of North Texas, so here it says one of eligibility uses is landscape improvements. Are we going to list what improvements means? Because to them, they might have bushes. To me, I see trash collectors.
And that's,
so
that's part of that process when we get an application, and we've done similar things with the facades downtown. It's not a full-on technical analysis, but it's saying, hey, these are the things that work and don't. So use that example here, again, the McDonald's one, that vegetation, the layout, it's designed to do two things. One, to kind of make sure trash doesn't gather and clump. It's also good for water. Like, if we get a lot of heavy rain, those concrete macadam areas, they get that localized flooding. So we have that opportunity, I think, as we get those applications, if people are pursuing that particular type of project, to say, hey, maybe not this, but this. I know when we were prepping the guidelines, a great thing that was flagged by Public Works was we were talking about trash enclosures. Trash enclosures are really expensive. They're great, but a trash enclosure would have eaten up about $100,000 just for one grant. And so maybe that's a future program, right? So it's steps, and it's I think, again, relying on our colleagues and the other departments and their expertise to say, maybe not that, but this, as we go through. And I appreciate the city manager's point. I think, there's always excitement when we have a program, but it'll be that kind of like the first couple will be a trickle, and then there'll be, a little, and that's what we see with the facade program downtown. Yeah. Since I've been here, at least. So, yeah.
All right. I will ask if there are any public comments on this.
I don't have any speaker cards. Did anyone wish to speak on this item? No?
All right, then I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
That passed unanimously? Yeah? Gotcha.
Thank
Okay.
you, and happy Valentine's Day to North Texas.
Thank you, yes. Now we'll go into item L2.
L2, Resolution 2026-11, naming rights, declaring application period is open for solicitation of naming rights for two city-owned facilities, the Fairfield Center for Creative Arts and the golf range at Paradise Valley Golf Course. And our presenter is Director of Parks and Recreation, Christina Konzinger.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I am seeking or requesting approval of Resolution 2026-11 to employ your naming rights policy to help offset capital improvements and investment projects at both the Fairfield Center for Creative Arts and the golf range training facility at Paradise Valley Golf Course. As a reminder, on October 1st, 2019, this body established the policy for naming city facilities, donations, sponsorships, and capital campaigns by minute action, and amended this said policy on July 15th, 2025. The policy really, the process itself will allow this body to open an application process at any time that the city declares it open and viable for employing capital campaigns for our city facilities. Brief history, as you probably know of a lot of our city facilities, they have significant deferred maintenance needs. The Fairfield Center for Creative Arts is similar, and we have recently really identified this as an economic driver for our downtown and the Heart of Fairfield strategic plan of doing some renovations there, along with just addressing some of the deferred maintenance. The facility itself, we will be working with the DTFA of identifying significant improvements and working with some of the thoughts of improvement for differing offerings and things that we might do to the exterior as well. It's really open to whatever we identify as improvement needs there. And unlike donations and sponsorship for capital improvement projects or capital campaigns, the naming policy has the potential, and I will use that word potential, for providing a significant infusion of dollars quicker than your traditional taking a variety of donations from various individuals, companies, and so forth. Similar with the golf course, Touchstone and Kemper staff have been meeting with us, or excuse me, the management team has been working with staff in our golf advisory board over this last year to identify significant capital improvement for their establishing a 5-year strategic plan for capital investment. And one of the items that had been identified was top tracer and for the range at Paradise Valley. And one of the focus areas that the GAB being the Golf Advisory Board, has been looking at where we can do some improvement and infusion of capital that will have a return on investment. So employing this top tracer, the financial outlook is that within a year of those improvements that it will become some new revenue generation, that through those new revenues being generated, we can do additional capital investment to that facility and actually Rancho as well, because we do have a golf fund, enterprise fund for both properties. So some of the revenues that are generated, we want to put right back into future improvements of Paradise Valley. And both the city finances, we are in a structural deficit, so we do not have general funds available to infuse for either of these projects. And as enterprise fund for the golf, it should be self-sustaining, and this would be an avenue of potentially seeing significant improvements, investment in that improvement that will then generate future revenues. So both of these projects do fall within the scope of the policy as outlined, and both of these also allow for corporate sponsorship. For the naming itself, and again, this is the first stage. We just want to bring to this council, if this is something you want us to work toward, it's an avenue that you have put into place for us to potentially get some higher dollar investors into our public facilities. Again, this is the very, very first step. If you say yes, then this is going to be quite a process for us to identify the specific projects, get some cost analysis on those projects. For the downtown theater, it can be multiple areas within the facility that can be offered as naming rights, as well as the facility itself. Same with the range. We look at the golf course, that particular project itself would be more of a standalone, so that would be the project for the naming policy. So that's a snapshot of what we're here tonight seeking, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Yes, Councilman?
Would this be a one, I know we're at the very beginning of it, but would it be a one-time fee for the naming rights, or would there be ongoing additional contributions?
So that can be worked out as part of the contract agreement. That would be with whomever is applying to be the namer of that facility. And the policy reads that the naming rights are for a minimum of 10 years.
Okay.
So we have, through your direction and approval, through whatever contract agreement we would have with that corporation or company, we would want to have the bigger investment sooner up front. And so we could work out those actual terms as needed. And then after that 10-year, there's no specifics in the policy itself as to if we were to extend rather than go out for a full another application process.
And my second question is, there's only 2 here, and I can think of another one that could be on there real
I knew
easy.
you would bring that up, so Any facility that we
And I'm
want to
sure the
do,
council
but again,
understands
we
what
have,
facility.
we wanted to prioritize those areas that we feel are revenue generating, that can help infuse money right back.
And I am speaking of Willow Hall. Beyond. Is there a reason, did you find out, City Manager, if the Willow Hall could be renamed and added to something like this?
Admittedly, no. So,
There you go.
yeah, you'd asked me about that, I think, a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And my apologies, I did not, I don't know if anybody on council has any of the specifics, or if Christina has any of the specifics
don't know
about the
why
history
it's
of
called
Willow Hall.
If it's eligible, are you asking if it's eligible?
Yeah.
It would be eligible. Any of our current facilities have been longer than that with the naming. And my understanding of the community center is that the names are something that the city identified and they represent trees, so, natural environment, like lakeside.
It's probably
the
because we had all the willow trees out here.
Yeah, so it was about, all the rooms interior were named with the foliage and what landscape was there at the
So it
time.
could be called,
Doug Hall.
And that's where I'm saying, like, in the interior of, and you've seen this, I'm sure, at larger facilities or other theaters where they may have the theater itself named something, they may have their, lobby named after
Stage.
somebody. Yeah, I mean, so there's opportunities for us to put them in smaller chunks rather than like seeking a $5 million investor. It could be that we're specifically to the theater, there's more opportunities for chunking that out by the area or the room or something like that, that can infuse additional dollars sooner. Again, that's usually the reason of going with the naming rights over a multi-year campaign, that you're, getting individuals contributing $100 here or there. It can infuse significant money sooner. If there's we don't have anybody waiting in the wings right now that says, yeah, we want XYZ company or the corporations coming forward. But if you give us the direction that, yes, this is something that you want us to explore, you have the policy that we would follow, and we would do our due diligence of identifying those projects with our respective partners in those facilities, and then we would market and solicit accordingly.
well, we did ask and direction to come up with some more money for these places, and I just want to say, good job, good ideas. I just would like to add, instead of 2 city-owned facilities, I'd like to add a 3rd, and that would be Willow Hall.
Is that a motion? Let's see if there's some public comments and see if the other council members would like to
Yes,
speak.
I do have one speaker card from Day Sparing.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Council members, staff. I want to begin by sincerely thanking you for your trust, your leadership, and the care you continue to show for the venue and the role it plays in our community. I am also deeply grateful to the city staff who have put an extraordinary amount of time, thought, and heart into this work. David Zellers, City Manager David Gassaway, Jen Rice, and the many staff members who support this partnership, both publicly and behind the scenes. Your dedication truly matters, and we appreciate it more than you know. Thank you also to the Fairfield Police and Fire Departments for the direct and ongoing partnership we share. Your presence and collaboration help ensure this remains a safe, welcoming space for our staff, patrons, volunteers, and artists. And mostly, thank you to the Parks and Recreation for your continued support and coordination. Much of your work happens behind the scenes, but it is essential, and it never goes unnoticed. And it truly takes a city-wide effort to keep a venue like this thriving. Thank you. We are incredibly excited about the partnership moving forward and grateful for the opportunity to continue this work collaboratively with a shared focus on the long-term health of the future of the venue. The Naming Rights Initiative is a critical part of that future. It represents more than a sponsorship. It is sustainability and strategy. It allows us to reinvest the building, support programming, expand access, and reduce long-term financial pressure on the city while honoring the legacy of those who helped build it. Just as importantly, naming rights create a way for individuals, families, and organizations to leave a lasting legacy, one that supports arts, education, youth programs, and economic vitality for generations to come. It aligns public stewardship with private investment, and it signals that Fairfield values innovation, partnership, and long-term thinking. This initiative tells a powerful story about who we are as a city, that we don't just preserve cultural spaces, we actively plan for their future. And finally, I'd like to say this. The care, intention, and collaboration shown by this council and city staff sends a clear message to Fairfield's voters, taxpayers, citizens, and art lovers. It gives us real confidence, not just optimism, that we are building something lasting, meaningful, and truly community-centered. Thank you again for your time, your trust, and your continued partnership. We are deeply grateful and genuinely excited for what's ahead. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can find me anywhere.
Okay. Thank you, Dave. Yes, Councilman.
One question.
Sorry.
In the event somebody wanted to provide this contribution to the maybe city for this instance, would it be tax deductible or no?
I don't think.
Just as
It's what I understand, if the attorney has a different thought, is some businesses use, because we're not a nonprofit, but if they donate to some of our programs, they do it from a business marketing and promotion, not as a charitable contribution. However, we also have both the Community Services Foundation and the Downtown Foundation. If we needed to, we would work with them if we wanted to offer that as a, but because it's a specific agreement that would be with the city for that naming policy right, that's where I'm unclear on the law, on tax deduction.
And if the donation is made through the 501c3, it is tax deductible.
Sorry, can you ask your question one more time?
if somebody wanted to sponsor, say Willow Hall, gave the city
Through the naming rights.
X amount, would that be deductible for tax purposes via the city? Would we have to use an intermediary?
So I think I would recommend we ask a tax attorney. I'm not a tax attorney, and taxes are very complicated. I would also, I would recommend a tax attorney, but I would recommend that they consult with a tax attorney. I don't think we want to be giving them that advice. So I would recommend the city say, it might be, but you need to talk to a tax attorney. I don't think a donation to a city for naming rights would necessarily be tax deductible. Just my gut instinct. We're not a nonprofit. We're a for-business municipal corporation. So, but I would, if anybody asked you that question, I'd be like, you got to talk to your own accountant or attorney.
Got it. Then the other one was, did you have any numbers in mind or estimates, like this amount for this for that, or is it completely open right now? Do we have minimum thresholds?
So we haven't done any cost analysis specifically to the downtown theater. I know that there's, it varies. Like if we're going to do the approach where we're wanting to do an improvement to a specific area within there, and again, you're not necessarily, the naming rights doesn't necessarily, it's not dollar for dollar necessarily. And so as was mentioned by Dave, if there was things that for the capital improvements, then it's for typically that specific area, but it may not all happen on year one. So it's a little bit, I don't mean complicated, but I mean, there's not one single answer for that.
Got it. Thanks.
Yes, Councilwoman Williams.
Yeah, just clarification. So for naming rights, we can take sponsorship dollars to like sponsor Willow Hall to be named,
So there's components to this policy that speaks to the city receiving donations. So that could be somebody wants to donate a piano to the ARC for our seniors. Then there's sponsorships, like when we have our signature events, we have Jelly Belly may sponsor $5,000 to do the stage. That's really more of an advertisement for that business, and we use it to offset those costs. The naming rights gives a different avenue for more significant investment from any one company that allows for a 10-year for that right to have this particular thing named, you know,
So
XYZ.
say we said Republic Services is giving us $500,000 to rename the theater, Republic Services Downtown Theater.
We would come up with how we would name that, yes. But
And would that come back to us?
yes, so let me speak briefly to that. Your policy outlines that should you approve the resolution, then officially we're allowed to seek donors or solicit those naming rights. So they will have a formal whomever, hopefully we'll have multiple people, would need to fill out an application. That application is then submitted to the city manager's office first. They conduct a preliminary review for completeness and consistency with the policy itself. Then, per your policy, that application is then given to the City Council Honors Committee for review. And then if the Honor Committee recommends moving the applications forward, they come to this full body for review and approval.
Got it. I think I got it. And so my final question is, and those dollars would go back into that specific property?
Correct.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
So it's a capital investment that we're making that allows for them to cover those costs or more, to them have that facility or that room within a facility be named after that corporation or person. But typically, it's to the degree that we're looking for, potentially, it's probably more a corporate sponsor or a naming right after a corporation. Yes, please.
Councilman Tonneson?
Thank you, Mayor. I have a few questions. What other cities are doing this? I've done this, and there's a lot of cities that are doing this. So when it sounds like this is going to be fine, but when we do this, I'd like to see maybe some shorter, maybe not a 10-year, maybe reduce that a little bit, or look at reducing, look at the terms, see what makes sense, see what others are doing.
So if I may answer that, you set your policy as 10 years. So if you wanted to do something different, we would need to bring your policy back to this body for revision.
And after we get all this research from you, we'll have a better idea of, maybe you went to some other cities or you went to look at some other policies and they're like, we found that reducing terms was better or increasing terms was better. But I'm just kind of giving you information that I would like to see.
Please.
That you come back to us with. The criteria for who would be able to get the naming rights. Is there a minimum sponsorship threshold? And I would like to see some examples of peer cities. Are there sunset clauses? It sounds like it's a 10-year term now. If we could just make sure that we have all these options, because there's a lot to this, I believe. And then, like on Top Tracer, you mentioned Top Tracer, so is there advertising to sell on Top Tracer? I don't know if there's, when the...
That's an option on the screens, yes.
Yeah, so
Yep.
something like that too. But just a lot, yeah, I'd be interested in seeing this, but with a pretty in-depth information provided. Thank you.
Anybody else? I agree with Councilman Tonneson, what he was describing. There's, I think, more research that needs to be done. Yeah?
No problem.
Yeah. So, but the way that this is structured tonight, we can just move forward with this and then come back with other information, yes?
Well, I would say if you're wanting to revise your policy, we probably need to do that first. Because what we would be soliciting is based on the criteria that's outlined in the current policy, which is what we would use to solicit. These are the parameters that we were moving forward with, so we'll be, if we want to come back with looking at some other options, or if you want some additional research of who does what, I know, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. I believe that when the policy was first established in 2015, that your staff at that time did the comparison and the research, but we can bring that back. There's no specific time driving this either, I'll be clear, other than our own efforts wanting to move.
Couldn't we, why would we have to look at, if you're going to come back and suggest policy, if there's a policy change, if you're going to suggest years, terms, why wouldn't we could change the policy that night if we wanted to, right?
Well, to solicit somebody to invest, let's say, naming the downtown theater at $1.5 million, they're going to want to know how long that name is going to be out there.
And then you would come to us and say, hey, here's what we're finding out, 10 years is the number.
Yeah, so I think right now, the city council has already adopted a policy that says it's 10 years. What I think I hear you and the mayor saying is, well, maybe different timelines are desirable. And so if we want to make it more of a flexible naming rights opportunity in order to go solicit, then I think what Ms. Counsinger is saying is, rather than go advertise under a policy that's 10 years, we'll bring back some additional research and your policy, because right now the mayor had asked me a quick side question of, well, couldn't you guys just modify that policy right now? That's not what's before you, right? That's not what the resolution is. That's not how this
Understood.
agenda item is advertised. And so what we can do is we can bring back that policy with some additional research, allow you all then to give discussion, or have discussion, give direction on what it is that you want to see in partnership with opening up that naming right. So you would then select based on the research and the information we present back to you. You all can then give us further guidance there, and then that's what we can go and open up the program based upon the direction at that time.
So how many people fall under this policy now? How many people have named that they've paid us and that they're using the 10-year term?
This is a policy that I believe is new for you.
It's brand new as of middle of last
council.
year. Nobody has ever paid us to name our
So
facilities.
we just came up with a policy recently to have it be 10 years.
Yeah, city council adopted it last July.
The updates to it last July.
Yeah,
The policy's been around for a while, from what I
Yes.
remember.
The policy was
Right after
first
my
adopted
cancer.
on October 1st, 2019.
Yeah.
The amendments that were made recently in July had to do with alcohol and cannabis contributions for sponsorship, and then we cleaned up some other language within your overall policy, but the naming rights themselves had not changed based on what was already outlined in the policy adopted in 2019.
Then I'll go with the majority of the council, but I think if we're going to have some flexibility in the policy, that we should come back with, but if you guys want to just say go tonight.
Whatever the majority wants to
Yeah.
do, obviously, but I agree with you on this. And since there isn't anything except for we need money, but, if we can be more flexible in that, so you have a sliding scale even, you give us this much, we can go over here.
I
Madam
think
Mayor?
that's actually a good point.
Can I
Yeah.
add a follow-up to Councilmember Sandu's question about tax deductibility?
Yeah.
I did some quick research, and there is a provision in the IRS code that allows donations for naming rights to a local government agency to be tax deductible, but the burden is on the person who makes the donation to prove that it's for an exclusively public purpose and that they gain no benefit from it. So the burden is on them. However, if the council is considering a change in policy, there is some language that might entice a person, because in an amount over $520, they would need a letter from the city declaring that it's for a public purpose. So there's some language, very easy, that might need to be put in, that might help entice people who want to get named.
Yeah, I like the flexibility.
Yeah, I like that too.
I think it might get us more business.
Right, because you could have a year You can do it for a year and it's X dollars, or you can do a 10-year for $1.5 million to the theater, and it's a term that,
Yeah,
I'd
and
like to see
I will
that.
say for the investment purposes of these two particular projects, probably the minimum is $500,000 for the projects that we would be doing there.
I guess it won't be
A new
naming
roof, I
Scott or
think, is
me there.
1.5 alone. I don't know.
So, okay, so then I think what I'm hearing is direction. So council's not going to move forward potentially with this resolution tonight, but instead your direction to us is come back with a little bit more information and the opportunity to make some modifications to the policy so that there's more flexibility in the opportunity for those naming rights.
How quickly can you bring it back with that, and including the legalese from, or illegal eagle?
4 to 6 weeks.
And possibly adding the third Willow Hall.
Well, it would be the policy.
4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6 weeks.
4 to 6?
The policy would cover anything that we decide
Yeah.
is city property.
Because we'll be looking at the policy then, so. Yeah, Willow Hall, we might be able to throw
4 to
in
6
there.
weeks.
Is that clear direction?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that good enough? Okay,
Thank you, good conversation.
okay,
Yeah,
thank you. All right.
Thank you, Christina.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And did we have any public comment on that today?
Just Day.
Just Day?
Oh, did you want to speak? Oh, sure.
Come on down.
Can I have your name? I'll fill out a card.
It's Marisa Hansen. So our policy as a city actually does allow for less than 10 years. As Councilman Thompson was asking questions and Ms. Christina here is answering them, I decided to do a little Googling because the Downtown Theater is very near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
The local Veterans Center in our region that is not funded by the VA makes an effort every year to patronize our theater. I'm doing an internship in social work there, and it has become a sort of rallying cry around mental health and marginalized communities. In looking it up, I took the time to look, and there are 5-year sponsorships for specific items that might need funding, as opposed to just a 10-year blanket, we're gonna do the stage, or we're gonna do the whole theater, or we're going to, do the golf course, correct? The training facility. The training facility. Sorry. I'm a transplant here, courtesy of the U.S. military, so I'm not super familiar.
Thank you for your service.
I am very familiar, though, with that theater that is just down the street from my own home. And to that, I would encourage our city council to please proceed forward with this. There is language in the current policy that you guys passed July 15th, 2025 for tax deductible purposing even. And it states that the person cannot in any way profit, whether that is monetary, notoriety in terms of like campaigning, and there's another criteria that I'm not gonna look at just this moment, that would make it easier for a person who might be interested to have that tax deductible opportunity while also not having to meet that 10-year threshold. Our downtown theater has hosted, if you are unaware, aside from a variety of plays and now an a cappella competition, this is the first I've heard from it, but also Travis Air Force Base, the youth center on base has a ballet academy, and it has in the past also hosted those performances by that academy. That is currently not able to be done though because of the state of the theater. And so that is something that goes to Vacaville, unfortunately, instead of staying here in Fairfield. And I would love to see Ms. Hope Mimi, who runs that academy, bring them back to Fairfield, which can't be done under the current state of the theater. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Just to clarify.
Yes, go
If I
ahead.
can clarify something, were you saying they can't do it at the theater because they can't do ballet at the theater? Is that what it was?
So the current criteria that Ms. Hope Mimi, who runs that program, looks for when she chooses a site is both facilities that are easily accessible for not only changing, but also for the youth, which many of them are 5 and 6 years old, to be able to navigate on their own. I've been in that theater. I don't know if you've been in that theater when it's all dark. It's not the easiest to see in. It's really great when you're an adult though, But when you have a bunch of 5 and 6-year-olds who are navigating a space on their own, and that theater also has some repair issues that need to be made, that becomes a hazard. And that becomes a hazard with small children. And that becomes a city liability, not just for the Dance Academy itself. I've inquired with her why we don't do it here when this entire academy is run out of our city. And those are the concerns that she had stated, and I was heartbroken to hear that, given that my own children have been a part of this dance academy for as long as we have been here, which is now 6 years. I would love to see my kids get to perform in the downtown theater that's next to their home instead of us having to drive down 80 to another town.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right.
All right. We're staying with the direction we got? Okay, very good. Thank you. So now we'll go ahead and move on to item L3, please.
Yes, L3, Resolution 2026-12, authorizing and adopting changes to city managers' compensation and benefits, authorizing changes to the terms and conditions of city managers' compensation and benefits to maintain alignment with Series 100 Executive Management Represented Classifications. And our presenter is Farbod Peruzman, HR Director and Assistant City Manager.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council. We have moved this item a couple of times, it was supposed to be before you, I believe, the last meeting. So just to refresh everyone's memory regarding negotiations, so we went through a series of negotiations with most of our bargaining units and agreed to certain compensation packages. As part of that process, we agreed to compensation changes for the Series 100, which is the executive employees, all the department directors, essentially. As part of that package, there were changes made that under the city manager's current contract with the city qualify him for the similar changes, essentially. So what you have before you in the agenda report is us asking for the same changes to be made to the city manager's compensation package. More specifically, they, in the process of trying to minimize and save money on our contracts, we've agreed to a variety of different arrangements, if you will, with the different bargaining units, and the executive management team was not exempted from that. So as you recall, there were no COLA increases, no cost of living increases, but we did provide a one-time cash payment. So the executive management team got a 3% cash payment. We're asking for the city manager to receive the same thing. There are a variety of different leave banks that employees have in the city of Fairfield. One leave bank is personal leave, and we have asked across all bargaining units to lower that bank, lower the cap rather of that personal leave bank, and lower the number of hours that a person would earn each year. So we've made an adjustment for the executive team by reducing that to 100 hours a year. So we've adjusted it downward by 22 hours and 42 minutes. And so we're asking for the same thing for the city manager, that in exchange for a small adjustment in the salary, which is about 1.08%. And then lastly, there were no actual caps for our sick leave, the sick leave we accrue each year for the executive team. And so we have set a cap, a maximum cap of 500, and for then any hours above that to basically fund a retirement health reimbursement arrangement. So we're asking also for the city manager to receive the same change in that sick leave treatment, if you will. So the one-time cash payment costs about around $9,252. The ongoing cost of the 1.08% would be $1,128 annually. So with that, I will close my presentation and answer any questions you may have.
Any questions or statements? Nothing? Any public speakers on this?
No, we do not have any.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
That was unanimous. All right, we'll move on to public hearings, please.
Yes, I have a frog in my throat, sorry. M1, Ordinance 2026-02,
Trenching.
amending Section 16.41 of Chapter 16 to remove the prohibition on micro-trenching, amending Section 16.4.1 of the Municipal Code regarding street and sidewalk to remove the prohibition on micro-trenching and finding the adoption of the ordinance to be exempt from review under the California Environmental Quality Act. And our presenter is Interim Construction Manager of Special Projects, Tom Martian. Welcome back.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, and members of the City Council, and you're so kind, Karen. Appreciate that. So, anyway, I'm glad to be back and presenting in front of you again. And once awesome. So, in front of you tonight is the introduction of a amendment to our municipal code. And Chapter 16, Section 16 is basically dealing with the use of micro-trenching that we've eliminated in the past. And because of the state and the mandates going through the state, they have actually encouraged broadband and also internet connectivity through a conduit that's used in the street called micro-trenching. So with that being said, it's obviously we need to make some changes in our municipal code to accommodate that, to be in alliance with the state of California. So tonight in front of you is the first ordinance, the ordinance of the reading the ordinance and also doing the public hearing. And then there'll be a second reading coming on the second council meeting in February. So at that point, it concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions on this? No? And are there any public speakers on this?
No.
Madam Mayor, you need to open and close a public hearing.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm going to open the public hearing. No public speakers? Go ahead and ask.
Are there any public speakers on this item? No. And there are no hands raised online.
All right. I'm going to close the public hearing and bring it back to council for a motion.
I do have one question, Mayor, if I may.
Please.
I did do quite a bit of research on this because I wasn't real familiar with the micro-trenching. And if I understand right, what you're trying to do is change the policy from, I think it was 3 feet to 2 feet or something like that? Is that?
Actually, we have a limitation, and we're allowed by state by 24 inches. So we're allowing 18 to 22 inches, and the width is about 2 to 4 inches, and we're allowing 2.5 inches. So at this point in time, we have not allowed micro-trenching in the city of Fairfield's right-of-way. We're amending the ordinance to allow it, but we are restricting the size and the positioning of the micro-trench. In this particular case, we're going 5 foot away from the face of curb, putting it out there, and then also in some cases in the planter strip areas. So this is kind of more in alliance to dealing with the state. I believe it was SB 367 that was talking about introducing broadband internet throughout the whole entire state, and this is more in line with that.
Well, I understand the reasoning for it, just that the depth requirements were set.
Yeah.
And if I recall, you want less of a depth. You want less.
Yeah, that's correct. It's less based on because the state looked at the type of equipment that was being used, and that was the reason why.
Yeah, and the research I did, I wouldn't agree with that. I'd like to stay with the standard due to the problems that they were having with it going less in some areas, standing up, roots, all that kind of stuff. So that's the research I did on it.
Sure.
I found that keeping it at that state level is
First, I'm glad you did that. I mean, it really is good that the council look into this. As engineers in public works, so we have a tendency to really kind of go to the point of the specifications. And we'll be coming back to the council with a new specification for the micro trenching as well as a broadband. So that maybe helps, satisfy some of the other thoughts.
All right.
That's all I got. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. I'll entertain a motion. I'll move it. Second. All in favor? Aye. And colleagues, tonight I'm going to close this meeting in honor of a very young man, Jordan Allen, 27. He was an Armio student and later an Armio teacher. He died suddenly, and he was just recently married. And so his services are going to be at Armio High School. But there will be a viewing on February 13th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Alta Vista in Suisun City. And there'll also be a viewing on February 14th at 10 a.m. The service will begin at 11 a.m. and that viewing will be at Armio High School. And I want to say to his mother and his loved ones, his wife, God bless you. Jordan was a fantastic young man. I helped him when he wanted to put together a march for Black Lives Matter after the Floyd death, and I helped him do that so it was safe here in demonstrating. He was a natural leader and just a really good man, and we will miss him. So I close in his honor, and I close this meeting. Thank you.